Hello, welcome to Truth Salt. Thank you for tuning in today. We have a very special guest, the Miss Sarah Chapman. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
Originally from around the Chicago area, but then after we graduated from college, we moved to Seattle, and now we're in Colorado.
That's right. Yes, I'm so glad you're here. And your whole family's here now.
Yep.
Like one came after the other, which has been really cool.
It's pretty awesome.
Sarah's dad is on staff here at our church in Broomfield, and his name is Kirk, and he's done an incredible job with our children's ministry, the youth group. It's insane what he's done back there. I wish we could have pictures of the transformations, but your whole family is so talented and creative and artistic, and but you're amazing people. And I love that you started this blog on Substack. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. So in 2023, I think it was, I found a new platform. It's still kind of new, called Substack, for writers and readers. And I created a publication on there. I think my daughter was 2 at the time. I have 2 girls. One is 4 and one is 1. And so I was just getting back into like a creative rhythm after coming out of the trenches of the hardness of, having a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. And so I was wanting like a creative outlet again. And so I created a publication on Substack called The Art of Being Human. Just because I was realizing that, a lot of the problems in our world today stem from things pushing against our humanness, right? So, for example, social media is kind of pressuring us to be consumers or products. Like if you're an influencer on social media, you're kind of pressured to make your life into a product. That's kind of taking away from your humanity. There's rampant workaholism and hustle culture that's kind of making us be robots. And so we're kind of getting trained up in school to be like just productivity robots. And then you go into the workforce and you're just a productivity robot and you're not a real human. So there's all these things that are pushing against our humanity. And there's many more too. But I was realizing like that is the crux of the Christian story, is that, at the beginning of time, God created us as co-creators with him, as friends, to be co-rulers with him, part of his kingdom in the world. And we decided to kind of make it into our own kingdom. And we were kind of tricked to become something less than what we were supposed to be, less than human. So less than co-creators. Instead, we're just going to become productivity slaves, or we're just going to become consumers, or, we were supposed to be kings and queens ruling with him over creation. And so, just to make it Christian, but I think even somebody outside of the Christian world realizes like there's something wrong here with humanity. What we're doing is we're not living up to our fullest potential, but nobody really knows how to solve that problem. And so I was just realizing like, actually, Jesus kind of does solve that problem for us. Like he helps us. He didn't just come to get us into heaven so we could just wait here on earth until we get to heaven and then we get joy and life with him. But he came so that heaven could come to us and that we could have relationship with God and restored humanity now. Yeah.
I think that is, being a reflection of his character.
Yeah.
Is to love one another.
Right.
And you're right. Our humanness is kind of getting lost, and we can just pass each other, but not really see each other.
Right.
Or we could talk, but not really listen.
Right.
And that is what you're picking up on, which is great, because you can't control what everybody's doing, but it can start with one person like yourself that is like, hey, well, what can I do to fill whatever you're feeling is missing? That was beautifully said. So you're married, you have 2 girls, and were you feeling really lonely? Is that another thing that was sparking this?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Especially, so right after college, before we had kids, we had been married for a few years. We moved to Seattle, downtown Seattle. And so it's kind of like, the height of secular young people culture. And it was especially apparent there that everybody is so incredibly lonely. Everybody is really rich and really successful, but so lonely. Like it looks like on the outside, you kind of have everything, but everybody that we met there was just craving community. There was this thing called the Seattle Freeze, just because everybody was so cold. I think it was really hard to make friendships there. And I think that's not something that's just characteristic of Seattle. I think it's kind of this whole generation growing up with phones, and we're just less community oriented. So we're just so lonely, but we're kind of too scared to say it too. And then I was a new mom. I was staying home with our, once we had Greta, then I became even more lonely too, and just craved community. So
and you were right in the city, you were saying, in Seattle.
Right downtown.
So people are just busy.
Yeah.
They don't really look at each other.
Totally. Super career focused and money focused. And yeah, and
you can have all of those possessions, but be really empty at the same time. And so then you moved here, and were you nervous to start something like, because wait, what did you start first? The community nights or Substack?
Yeah. So I started writing on Substack in 2023, I think. And I was just writing generally about being human, like just trying to get honest about what feels broken. And then things that I've been thinking about, like, I wonder if this could fix it. I wonder if we should do more of this. So that was kind of what I was talking about for the past several years. But then in September of this year, my husband and I...
25.
Of 2025. Sorry. Yes, it's 2026 now. September of 2025, my husband and I decided to actually do a lifelong dream of hosting weekly community nights with our friends. So that's literally something we've been dreaming about since college, I think. So like probably
that's amazing. You guys were dreaming of that.
Years. But I never did it. So that was like the bad part, that we were just always too scared, or it always felt too big. But what we wanted to do was just create regular community. I think church people are really good at this. We usually have life groups or Bible studies of some sort. But outside of church, there's not really a regular space for people to gather. And, I've even heard people who would never step foot in a church, don't like Jesus at all, say, but I really like how they meet all the time and eat together, And so I think people were really craving that. And I was really craving that. And so we just wanted a regular time to get together with friends, so that you don't just see them and then, say, oh, we should do this again. But then it takes 2 or 3 months to see them again because everybody's so busy, and you kind of push it off. And so in September, we just sent out an invitation to every friend we knew here in Colorado, and which was surprisingly a lot.
It doesn't surprise me. You're outgoing and friendly.
No, we just moved here. I think God has really put people in our path like that. It feels like miraculous, just the number of people we've just met through random ways, even in our short time living here. So we sent out an invitation to probably, 20 or 25 people, including kids, some single people, some married people, some families with 4 kids, some families with a baby. So it's a whole mix of people, Christians, non-Christians, people from work, people from church, people from, that moms that I met on the playground. So we sent out an invitation, and we said, we're doing 6 weeks of community dinners on Sunday nights, and we'll provide chili. Just come and hang out. And it was still so warm in September and October, so we hung out outside, and we usually did a fire. The kids played outside, and it was just awesome. So now we've continued to do it every week.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
you're brave to me. I mean, I think that's funny. You guys were longing to do this.
Yeah,
since you've known each other.
Yes.
That I'm a little more introverted, so I think that wouldn't be something that I would be longing for. But we are longing for connection.
Yeah.
And I need people like you to pull me out and get me to do things like that. And that's such a gift. I think you were wired a certain way, which is really beautiful. And that doesn't surprise me that you've met all these people coming here, because I'm pretty confident God has a purpose regarding all of this for you. And do you ever get concerned that someone really weird is going to come?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes. It's definitely, I mean, I don't think everybody there has been pretty lovely, but that's definitely you can
tell me.
When you do something like this, there's so much risk involved, right? Because we told people that they could invite whoever they want to.
Yeah,
so it wasn't open.
I mean.
It wasn't an open invitation. So we've so many different kinds of people come, and it's amazing. So yeah, there is a risk involved, but it just feels so worth it. There's so many risks involved of what if we don't feel like doing it one weekend? And I would consider myself an introvert, shockingly. I do not get get energy from being with people. My husband's a total extrovert. If he's had a bad day, all he wants to do is like be with people, like go to a family gathering. And I just want to like become a recluse and read a book, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's lots of things that we've kind of had to like push up against because we do feel like it's a calling. So it just feels worth the risk and the challenge of it. And even when I started, so I made a post about it on Substack that we started having, it was just this really short, like Twitter size post of, my husband and I started doing this really fun thing 4 weeks ago. We have people over. It's just an open house from 4 to 7. And the kids run around and we have a fire, and it was just like a paragraph, and it literally blew up, and it got thousands of comments and
thousands
and likes and
That's
people
what?
like restacking it, which means like they're sharing it to their page and sharing it with their friends. It just got so big. So I realized that people were really interested in it, and they were asking me like really thoughtful questions too. Like, well, what if my house is too small? Or yeah, what if weird people show up? Or what if I don't have enough friends? Or what if my friends are from work and church and school and I don't really want to mix them? Because what if they don't get along? What if they think each other are weird?
Yeah.
Right. Somebody even said that. Like, they were like, everyone there must have the same political views, right? Because otherwise that would be miserable. But no, like our group is so diverse politically, religiously, age,
I love
lifestyle.
that.
So yeah, people were really interested in it, and it really made me realize like, okay, maybe this is bigger than I thought of,
yes.
a bigger need than I even thought.
That's a huge response.
Yeah,
and it was just
shocking.
people in your immediate area, like Broomfield?
The comments online were from everywhere. Like, people were responding and saying like, I live in Italy in a really small house. And so it was kind of everywhere.
Wow. But it might have encouraged them to do something like that.
So a ton of people like restacked it to their page and said, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to do something like this, or this is a really good idea. And people are messaging me and saying like, how would I do it in this situation? And I was like, oh my goodness, I guess I'm all of a sudden like the expert on doing this.
Like, let me tell you.
I don't even know. We've just been doing it for 4 weeks, but I'll tell you. So then I made a few more posts about it, like the details, because people wanted the details. So I was like, okay, if so many people want it, I'll start posting about the details. Yeah. And it just got like, people are really excited about it. So I don't know. To me, that just feels like such a God thing that
That's ministry right there.
Yeah. It felt like I didn't do that on purpose. I just wrote something I was excited about. I wasn't like trying to go viral. And I don't know. God just used it even more than I thought he was going to use it.
Yeah. It sounds like he really confirmed that this was a need and blessed it.
Right.
I mean, obviously. And you're right. Because there is that, in the back of your mind, what if I don't feel like it on the day that it's scheduled? Like I wake up and I'm just like, the kids are crabby or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right that if you feel that God led you to it, it kind of makes it smaller, I think. Like the issue of not feeling like it when you're focused on, no, I'm supposed to do this.
Totally. Yeah.
And that's just being brave and obedient really to what God had put on your heart to do. I know with worship leading here, when it started, I remember thinking, how in the world? There's no way. I'll be temporary because there's no way. And then I would have those moments of, I don't feel good, or my kids were, no offense to my children, but really awful that morning or whatever. And but when you see the big picture of what it's accomplishing and the people that it's reaching, it makes it so worth it. And, you have this on Substack. It's the art of being human. Yeah, and I'm sure you can speak more to what gave you that theme. And what you're saying is just it. But there was one I read recently. You talked about the humanity of being broken. And is that what you noticed in Seattle? Is the people that were just walking around kind of like robots, but they were really empty and broken inside. Definitely. And that's, if you want to, I guess, engage with many people, not just believers, not just a Democrat or a Republican, or, we're so much more than that. Right. Our identity is so much more than how we vote. Oh my goodness.
Right. Yes. Contrary to popular belief.
Yes. And if you are on social media, you see nothing but division. And so it's so beautiful to hear that all these people are coming together and they really don't care. Yeah. They just want someone to be nice to them.
Totally.
And likewise, we just want just be nice.
Right.
Open up your home. And I love that you did that. And have you made any really amazing friends through this experience?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, people have. I actually just, at our past one this Sunday, a cousin of a friend brought his friend from work. So it was like, people are really connecting their different friend groups into this group, which is cool. And I had like an hour-long spiritual conversation with her. And it was just, we come from different faith backgrounds, and it was just a really good conversation. Sometimes it's literally just, we're talking about sports or family but sometimes we just, I don't know, like sitting around the table with people just lends itself to people opening up and being real. And I think the coolest thing too is being with people over time like this consistently, you're able to actually like step in when things happen that are bad in people's lives, because it's inevitable that we're all going to have hard weeks and hard seasons, hard months. And so that's happened to a few of the people in the group. Like, since we started doing this, they've entered a really hard season. And so it feels really life-giving, I think, to them to come to something that feels joyful and where they can just be accepted for who they are and just, get filled with some hope that people love them and care about them. And then also it's life-giving, for other people to be able to love them and care for them. So even if it doesn't seem like that, I think deep things are happening,
It sounds like it.
Deeper than you even realize, I think.
Because it's hard to meet people. If you think about once you're done with school.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go to a bar. And, that's like it's true. If you're not in the church, that it would be extra hard. Because, the church does do a good job of that. But it just kind of brings you outside yourself. And I bet you've just met such interesting people. And I love getting to know people's backgrounds. And you went to school for videography, speaking of background.
Yeah.
And so this was something you were kind of unfamiliar. I mean, everyone knows how to like put out an invite or whatever, but this was out of your, I guess, comfort zone. It was brand new for you. And you did it anyway. Yeah. And that's so encouraging for people that feel maybe unqualified or they don't really know exactly what they're doing. You don't have to have it all figured out, right? And you're probably learning a little as you go, as I am with this podcast.
You're doing great.
Thank you. It's a similar thing though. I don't need to go viral. Like I want people to feel loved and have a place to come to get encouraged and just a positive platform for others. And it is easy to see the brokenness and the loneliness, but now you're turning that into something where people are going to be seen and heard and feel valued and loved, especially if they have no one. I know a lot of people move here to Colorado and they don't know anybody. And it's, what a great way to connect, especially if someone, heaven forbid, gets sick, has to go to the hospital. What if nobody's visiting them? Or, there's such a bigger picture to this, in addition to the community night, Yeah. That's so great. What has been your favorite thing out of all of this? Because you said 12 so far?
Probably
gatherings?
About that. Yeah. My favorite thing. That is a great question. I think, like I was saying, just the diversity of people that's together, because I don't know, there's, aside from church, there are really few other places where you're going to get this diverse of a group together. So, there are single people who have just graduated college who want to be parents someday, and they get to like come and see what a good, healthy family looks like. Oh my gosh, I love seeing, so-and-so's kids, and I love seeing how you parent, and, talking to the parents. And I think like we're really learning from each other, and then there's people in such different industries that are learning from each other. And, the diversity of the group is so unique. I think at church we take that for granted because, Jesus really does bring together a diversity of people. But outside of that, the only time you're gathering in a group as an adult, would be like a mom's group where it's all just moms, or it's like, you're going to your kid's school function where it's all, families that are kind of just like you, or a work thing with people all in your industry, or a sports thing with,
right,
with probably single young people who are into the same things as you. So to have people, I think it just
with
really helps. Like, it's
interests.
so much better than just sitting on social media and scrolling and getting these caricatures of everybody. Like when you actually meet them in your real life, you're like, wait, they're not as bad as social media makes them seem, a liberal or conservative, or
right. Yeah, right. There's a lot more to that person.
Yeah, we need more of that. It's just insane how much we're willing on social media to just write off people's humanity and their need to be loved just because they're a liberal or a conservative. It seems small, but I really think in-person conversations with people who are different from you makes a huge difference. And that's exactly,
absolutely,
what Jesus wants his church to look like. This is exactly how we were supposed to function,
right,
as humanity. He brought together rich and poor and people from different sects of society at the time. So
all different backgrounds and walks of life. And it's true. I like that.
Right.
You really learn from each other and different perspectives. And have you ever done like a singles night?
No, that would be interesting though. a little matchmaking night. That would be fun. A little bachelorette thing.
Because it's so hard to meet people.
Yes.
And then if you are single, and you're not ready to do
That's
like the
true.
online thing,
right? Which like isn't the best anyway. Like who wants to?
Pros and cons,
yes.
But to do a little.
That would be interesting.
Tonight. I'm a nerd, but I just think that would be so fun. And I just really want to thank you for taking the time to come here. And I guess I want to end with if this is resonating with somebody, whether it's a community night or something else, how would you encourage them to get started? What would be a good tip or, a little piece of advice? Like, because there's Substack, but do you have any other thoughts?
To get started if they want to do their own community nights.
Like what would be step one for community night, but anything that they're feeling like, I love to knit and I want to knit with other people. What should I do? Because I'm kind of shy. Or what advice would you give?
Well, I would say simplify it. I think, about hosting too. A lot of the comments that I was getting when I posted about these community nights were like, but my house isn't big enough, or I don't have enough chairs, or I can't cook that well, or, my house isn't perfect and beautiful. But really, people don't care about that. They just want to be invited in and loved. They don't care what it looks like. People probably want decently good food. You don't want to go sit and eat bad food. Right. But I think that we can simplify a lot of these things that we want to do. And we get stuck in our own heads that it has to be perfect before we can start, and even you starting this podcast, you said you didn't know, how to do any of it and you had to learn it all from scratch. I actually wrote a book about that, my self-published book that I wrote in 2024.
What? When were you going to tell me you wrote a book?
I don't know. I was like, this is really sounding like it.
Oh yeah, that book I wrote. How are you? You're like Superwoman. Finish your train of thought, but I want to talk more about this book.
Well, I self-published a book in 2024 called Dream On, and it's
Dream On.
Yes, and it's about this. Is about if God places something on your heart, it's important to not just say like, that's probably not that important. It's just knitting, or it's just having people over, or it's not something that doesn't sound important. It actually sounds pretty selfish to sit and learn something, and and so I think we get into those train of thoughts like it's selfish, it's too complicated. I would never be qualified to do it. Somebody else should probably do that, and I can't do that. So I think just getting those stumbling blocks out of the way and just taking a first simple step, like I said, it took me like 10 years to finally do the community nights, but I wish it didn't take that long.
It took me 2019 is when I wanted to start a podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
And I had a TikTok named Truth Salt.
Okay.
And I got that far.
Nice.
And then I overthink it till last year.
Right. But
and
if you overthink it, you never do it. Right.
I'm so guilty of that. It's
same
true.
with so many things.
You can come up with a million excuses, but then you're going to always wonder, what if?
Exactly.
What if I fail? What if you don't fail? What if you succeed? There's a better way to think the what ifs. But you have a book called Dream On that talks about just this, that whether you are qualified or not, if you have something that you really want to do it.
Yeah.
And don't overthink it. Keep it simple.
Right.
Right.
And it's actually really important. That's what God created us for. He didn't just create us to, leisurely sit on the beach or to be his robots that just obey and don't have any thoughts of our own. And we're supposed to co-labor with him. We are obedient to him. I think sometimes when we're in prayer and we're asking him, like, which path do you want me to take? I think sometimes he's like, you choose one. And, as long as both of them are honoring to him and blessing other people, like, he's like, I want you to be part of this.
Right. Yeah. Because he made you the way you are for a reason. And there's a variety in there. It's not, as you have learned with your videography, you have so much in addition to that you still want to explore. And thankfully you're young and you have time to do that. I feel like any age, we're never too old to try something new or learn something new.
Yeah.
But if someone wanted to get their hands on your book, is it on Amazon?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Yeah.
Okay.
Dream On by Sarah Chapman.
Little fun fact about you. And then it's The Art of Being Human on Substack.
Yep. So I think the link would just be substack.sarahchapman.com.
Okay.
But you could also, if you go on Substack, you can search The Art of Being Human is my publication name by Sarah Chapman. Yeah.
And is it okay to say that if someone watching this would like to participate in your community night, is that how they should reach out to you?
Totally.
Is through Substack?
Great.
Is there an Instagram or anything, or solely Substack?
Yeah, probably. I have an Instagram. It's not super active right now, so probably Substack.
Okay. It's free.
Or if they know you, they can get in touch with you and
I have connections.
And let me know for real. Like it is an open invitation, and we love having new people. It truly is an open invitation. So
that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And your whole family is just so sweet, and you couldn't not like the people in this family. So I just am really grateful that you came today and that this worked out and you're taking time out of your busy schedule. I love what you're doing. Keep going. Keep bringing those people in with open arms. And that is being the hands and feet of Jesus. And a verse that's been so much on my mind lately is about his ways being higher than our ways and his thoughts being higher than our thoughts. And with the overthinking, it's just, God has it figured out. If you can just do that one tiny step and keeping it simple.
That's so true.
And his ways are higher. It can be something that you haven't even thought of that he's going to use you for. So
dang, that's encouraging.
Nudge. That's good. I'm glad. This starts with that little nudge to do something, and then don't beat yourself up that it's been 10 years, right?
Right.
You're doing it now, and that's what matters. His timing. So thank you so much, Sarah, for being here today. My pleasure. And thank you to all of you that have tuned in, and we will get together again really soon. Take care.